Welcome back to the English Without Borders 12 Days of Christmas video series. This is day 9, and I am Kayla, your English language fluency and confidence coach. Today, I'm excited to share with you a really important part of Christmas culture in the English-speaking world, and that is the story of A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens is one of the most famous literary authors in the English-speaking world, so it's really great to read any story of his. But A Christmas Carol in particular is a story that, even though it was published originally in the 1800s, is still relevant today and talked about every Christmas because of the message behind it. It's a story about redemption, about giving, about kindness, especially during this time of year, during the holidays. If you have never read this story in English, perhaps you've read it in your native language, I highly recommend that you read it in English to really grasp the full taste and feel of Dickens' way of writing in English. The good thing about this story is that it is shorter. So typically you could read it within a couple of hours, right? If you take one day and have a couple of free hours in the afternoon, you could sit down and read this book. However, I understand that that can be really frustrating when you have to look up different words, you have to look up different phrases, expressions, and I've done the same thing in Spanish. Even today, if I see a word that's not very common, perhaps it's very old, if it's important to the story, I take time to look up that word and find the definition. And that breaks up the flow of reading. It doesn't make it as fun. So I have found for you all a really awesome app that I think is great to use, especially if you like to read and learn vocabulary that way. This application is called EWA, okay? And I will show you a quick tutorial on how to use this and exactly how it works right after this part of the video. And it allows you to see a direct translation in your native language in the instant, so you don't have to take that extra time to, okay, let me pull out my dictionary or use my phone and type in a different word. It's really quick and efficient and a great way to be able to read an original story, even one written by a pretty high-level literary author like Charles Dickens, and you can still really understand it and learn a lot of great new expressions as you go along. There is a paid version of this application, but the free version allows you to have access to all of the same books, just that sometimes you will see an ad. But once you jump into a book, then you won't see those ads anymore. So it's a really great tool that you can use for reading new literature. I am a lover of literature and reading, so I love to analyze every little bit of a really impactful or powerful book that has a strong message. If you are also interested in analyzing and really understanding the message behind a work as great as A Christmas Carol, then I have provided for you in the description box below a link to a short blog article from a writer named Nick Tingley. And he writes about only the first paragraph of A Christmas Carol and shows by his analysis of it just the pure genius in Charles Dickens' writing, okay? So if you would like to read it, it takes a minute of your time, and it's very, very interesting. He analyzes each different word that he uses, the expressions and idioms that he already utilizes in that first paragraph, and it helps you to see just how impactful and powerful his writing style is. And if you are interested in becoming a better English writer yourself, reading an analysis like this could be a great way for you to see tips on how you could improve your own creative writing in English. All right, now on to my tutorial on how to use the EWA application on your phone. So I will just open up the EW app here to the home page. It will show up in your original or your native language that you can choose when you sign up for the app. And this is the main library. So when you go to the search bar, you can type in the name of the book you are looking for. I'll type in A Christmas Carol. And when you find the title you are looking for, you just give it a click and you have the option to read it or listen to it. Now, when you go to read the version, it will show up with an option to watch a quick ad. So that's for the free version. So I'll watch this. And now, once you go to the book, you see here that you can scroll up and down to keep reading. Or we also have at the top of the page a scroll bar where you can go all the way to the end or, go to the middle or the beginning. And I have different options of how I would like to see the text.
Introduction.
Then as well, there is the option to listen to it. And if I go clicking on different words, the really interesting thing is it shows up with a direct translation in the exact moment. And it's pretty efficient. It's not 100% correct always, but in general, most of the time, you can get an immediate definition or translation for something and not have to stop and look at a dictionary or pull out your phone. Once you've added 5 different terms that maybe you don't know, then you can go up to the top bar where you are able to look at the list of the words you said you didn't know. It will give you these different cards that you can, quiz yourself and see if you remember them and see these words or terms used in an example. So it's a way to go back and study any term that you weren't sure of and double check that you did learn it. Okay, and then you can go through and say as well, once you have learned something, and it will be taken away from that list of challenge words that you give yourself. Okay, so that's a quick look at the EWA app. It's really useful, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed that short tutorial and will really take advantage of it to utilize this really easy format that it has for reading new novels in English, not only for A Christmas Carol, but for anything else you want to read in the upcoming year of 2021. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Let me know in the comments below if you have read A Christmas Carol before in English or if you're planning to after watching this video. Thank you very much, and I will see you tomorrow for day 10.